opportunities and the challenges. Already I was there yesterday. I met with the senior staff. I met with numbers of priests. And of course, everyone identified some of these challenges and opportunities. But I think I have a learning curve ahead of me. And I think the best way to get into a new diocese is to take that learning curve slowly, carefully, and prayerfully. So say a prayer that I'll do just that.
Just a quick follow-up question. The more rocky moments, did they come between you and your sleep when things got very difficult here?
Oh, anybody who tells you that they never have a sleepless night is probably taking Sominex. So of course I do. Of course there were things. Who could not have been really rocked to the depths by the for example, the abuse crisis, or when one looks at the challenges of readjusting the parishes in the city of Bridgeport to meet the needs. Things like these are very, very big challenges, and of course they will affect your sleep sometimes, and they should, because what one really does well is not just toss and turn, but to get up and pray a rosary and put oneself in the presence of God, and those are the moments when you realize you never do this alone. You do it with the Lord, and you do it with good co-workers, and if you do it that way, chances are you'll make a difference. Never do it perfectly, but you'll make a difference.
And just one final question. What qualities do you think the Pope saw in you that made him give you this position?
The Pope learned that I watched Channel 12 all the time, and that was really it, you know. Sorry, everybody. You know, one never knows personnel decisions, and this is, in its own way, a kind of a personnel decision. A lot goes into it. I should imagine that he observed that I've been a bishop for a while, 17 years, come April 20, that I had served in the Baltimore-Washington area, and that I also have the privilege of serving as chaplain, Supreme Chaplain of the Knights of Columbus. And may I say what a joy and what a privilege that is. The Knights of Columbus are spread throughout North America and into Central America, the Philippines, Poland, and has a strong presence in Rome. And the Knights of Columbus is one really great way to get an understanding of the needs of the church, the joys and strengths of the church from a much broader perspective. And so I would like to think my association with the Knights of Columbus had an awful lot to do with this, because the Knights are very, very close to the church. Please.
Allie Reed from Newsday. Coming out of those rocky moments, what are some of do you see as being your greatest achievements? What are you most proud of, how you handled those moments?
Well, what a great question, and the check is in the mail. Thank you for that great question.
You should watch Channel 8 too.
I will. Thank you, I will. I will. In fact, the Pope will be doubly pleased if he knows I'm watching Channel 8. I would say that there's first of all, none of these achievements that I'll talk about are my achievements. One of the great blessings of my years here in Bridgeport has been to have a team of priests and talented lay people and religious working closely with me. So anything that was accomplished always together. and never separately. But I suppose one of the things I prayed the hardest about was vocations to the priesthood. And it looks like coming into this new school year, we're going to have 40 seminarians, 40 fine young men studying for the priesthood for the church here in Fairfield County. That's something I certainly don't do on my own. I think that so many parish priests play a role in that. Great vocation director in the person of Father Canali. Great guidance from Monsignor Royal, who's with us today, and prayer for vocation. So having a good number of vocations with promise of even more growth is one of the things that brings me joy and contentment. Another thing that makes me very happy to think about is that I always get the number wrong, but it's 6 or 7 new religious communities of women have come to the Diocese of Bridgeport in the last 11 years. I'm exceedingly grateful for the ones who have been here from before the time when Bridgeport was even a diocese. Some go back into the 19th century. But we've also been blessed with these new communities that have come, one of whom represents one of those new communities. We call them the Dominican Sisters of the Springs of Bridgeport. Sister Elizabeth McDonough, who is here, is a member of that community, and she is one of the nation's great canon lawyers, and we're very blessed to have her with us. So having these new religious communities is a great thing. I think also the growth of work among young people on 3 fronts. One is a strengthening of religious instruction across the board in so many of our parishes. A second thing is a growth in youth groups. We now have almost 70 of the 84 parishes that have good youth groups in them. We had a Congress for young people a couple of weeks ago. We had 350 young people at it. And what we're finding is young people who are stepping up to really embrace their faith and also to be leaders among their peers in bearing witness to the faith. It doesn't get better than that. And then the schools. Last year, our schools experienced a 5% growth in enrollment. And in the Northeast, that's pretty rare. It's usually going the other way. 40% of our schools are blue ribbon. In the inner city, in Bridgeport, we are not experiencing an achievement gap. Those young people, many of them from economically disadvantaged situations, are reading and doing math at grade level. And the longer we have them, the better they do. Many of them go on and do well in high school, go to a Catholic high school, and get into college. It's one of the most transformative things I think that we do. It's tough, though. It's financially pretty challenging to do this, but we're doing it. And perhaps if I could also mention 2 other things. One is the development of our communications capability. I see Brian Wallace. All of you know Brian, I think. And he's done a lot to revive the Fairfield County Catholic and also to get us into the world of social media and electronic communication, even though I don't really know the difference myself between a Twitter and a tweet. So that would be just some of the things, but as I think about it, there's many, many other things, and I don't mean to be leaving anybody out. And there would be one other thing I would certainly like to mention, and that is the way the priests of the diocese have pulled together, and they are the great unsung heroes. They're out there every day on the front lines, really, really doing the work of the church. And there's a lot of great fraternity and priestly friendships that are there. Nothing makes a bishop happier than that. Thank you. Please.
Oh, yeah, John Ferguson, Connecticut Post.
Yeah.
In the press conference yesterday, you spoke about getting a call quite unexpectedly. Maybe you could take us back in time as to what time of day that was and what you were doing at the time.
Sure, be happy to. Well, being an avid reader of the Connecticut Post, I couldn't miss the rumors that I was going to Baltimore. In fact, I was over in Rome for my 5-year visit, the ad limina visit, and I got a call sort of mid-morning saying there's an article about you in the Connecticut Post. And sure enough, I don't know, if you were taking book on it, you did pretty well. And of course, there was a little bit of chatter about that subsequently, but I decided, with the help of a great spiritual director that I see on a regular basis, I decided that it's far better to bracket that. You can't miss that it's going on, but just to bracket it and keep my eye on the ball, which is the Diocese of Bridgeport.